Thanks for joining us on a Sunday night. Mike Shope with Adam Krautwurst. We are about to be on the clock in the first Pros versus Joes draft 2021 FFPC in seconds. So let's play that shark thing so we can do this.
You got it.
"45 seconds to liftoff." Adam is going to actually enter the picks, and we'll be showing the board throughout the night. We are 101 in Division 1 out of 7. Adam, coming up with 101 for us wasn't too stressful or involved.
No, it's pretty easy. I hear the kind of the counterpoints to Christian McCaffrey and all that, but you don't get the number 1 pick overall all that often. So I'm perfectly cool with going with McCaffrey. In fact, I've done 15 football guys. I've had the number 1 pick once. So it's very rare that I get to get Christian McCaffrey. The question is, do we want to wait? We're on the clock right now. Do we want to wait the full 60 seconds to get Christian McCaffrey? Or do we want to just let it fly?
I mean, what's the difference? Are you worried about certain protocols or relationships?
No.
We know what we want. We know who we want.
All right, we did it. Christian McCaffrey. I love it. First pick of the entire event, McCaffrey. Let's go.
It's not like it's any sort of surprise. I think there is a really good case for Kelsey coming down to how you build the rest of your team. And here we are through pick 3. He went already at 3.
Yeah.
The more you and I talked about how to build the team, I feel like Kelsey at 1 does work. McCaffrey is so obvious there, but I think it does work. Did you like it at all? Were you open to it at all?
To Kelsey?
Yeah.
I wasn't until I was mowing my lawn today, thinking about it more and more. So I picked 5th. I've only been in the Pros vs. Joes once. I picked 5th 2 years ago, and I took Kelsey, and I came 2nd overall in the whole event. So I went Kelsey, I went Gurley, I went running back in the 3rd. I don't remember who it was. So I didn't take my first receiver till the 4th. It was Chris Godwin that year, and he was a monster 2 years ago. So Kelsey certainly wouldn't kill us unless he got hurt. But McCaffrey is worth 2 or 1.5 running backs. Not that Kelsey's not worth 2 tight ends, but I like in best ball Pros vs. Joes getting that super stud running back and then coming back later, because I feel like with the onesie positions, we can get 2 or 3 tight ends that are going to give us a smash week every week to compete with Kelsey. Whereas I don't think the same thing is to be said for running back. You can't just draft 3 running backs rounds 10 through 12, thinking that they're going to get you a McCaffrey type week.
Well, that's interesting. I don't want to refute what you're saying, and I'm sure you've thought about it more times than I have, but I think tight end will be a challenge for us. When you're picking at 1, and here's Waller going 105. I mean,
right.
I feel like there is that. We'll see what happens with Kittle. I think it'll be a challenge for us to get into a good place at that position, and I think it's important to be in a good place at that position. You can luck out with those guys, middle bottom, but a lot of them are just sort of guesses. And I'm hoping that we can figure out a way to get to a place here where we're not guessing quite to the same extent. But I was not against the McCaffrey idea. I just wanted to have the conversation about Kelsey, and we did, and now we had it again. So Waller at 5, and here you have receivers at 9 and 10. We should maybe say here, I mean, some of these guys drafting with us tonight are well-known names. I think it was Sigmund Bloom, who took Waller, everybody knows him, and Evan Silva, who just went with Saquon Barkley, plus the Joes. The Chasing the Helmet guys have been on this show. And some of these guys tonight are doing their own shows as we are. It's kind of like, watching your own team's feed for a game that's on different channels at the same time, maybe. But this is quite a room, Adam.
Yeah, all these drafts are going to be competitive. And the reason why – so – when we were talking and we were strategizing about this, right? We were talking about, how do we want to approach this? And the first thing I said was, hey, let's look at main event ADP, right? Because people aren't. This is best ball, but people aren't going to attack this like a standard best ball draft. They're going to want to make a statement. They're going to want to go after the guys that they really like, right? So I think the FFPC main event is a perfect example of that, because in the main event, you go get your guy, whether it's a round ahead or even sometimes 2 rounds ahead of ADP, you go get your guy. Because at the end of the day, if your guy hits, you don't care that you reached on him a round or 2 early, right? So I wanted to look at main event ADP, and we've looked at that, and I feel super comfortable with kind of our plan going into this, which was Christian McCaffrey, and nothing so far, whether Waller goes 5th. Waller wasn't going to be there when we picked the 2-3 turn. So none of this really matters. It's what happens kind of closer to our pick here at the 2-3. And I feel comfortable with the strategy that we're going to use.
Interesting to see Evan Silva take DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins is the first player taken who I thought there was a chance we would be talking about. It would still be below normal for him to last to 212, but at 2-2, there's no question. He goes before Devontae Adams. He goes before, A.J. Brown, et cetera, as the 3rd wide receiver. So very interesting move. Do you think, quickly, Adam, because we'll have to decide soon, do you think guys already are figuring out who they want to put their quarterbacks with?
Yes. I think it's hard to go into a draft like, I'm going to take this quarterback and pair him with these. You got to take whatever the draft kind of gives you to begin with. And again, with all these veterans, with all these high stakes guys, with all these analysts, you don't know what they're going to do. They want to stake their claim to their guys. So you can't bank on what quarterback you're going to take in the 6th round, right? And it's interesting Silva took Hopkins because Silva was low on Hopkins last year and openly admitted after week 1, like, man, I screwed up. Hopkins is a stud. They're, that passing game, they're gonna link up often. So Ivan's really good. He's a really good analyst, and he's really good at drafting because he has the ability to admit when he's wrong and move on and kind of go from there. So it's interesting to see him take Hopkins as the number 3 receiver overall.
Why is it so hard for people to admit when they're wrong? Some of this stuff is provable. If you're wrong and we know it, why is someone else sort of fighting against that? That's more of a Tuesday night conversation we can have.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so Hopkins didn't happen. Kittle, maybe there was a chance he would slip. He did not. We had 8 running backs in the 1st round. We have 5 more. There's Najee Harris. He's 6. That's 14. Yes. And you and I have a cutoff coming up.
We do.
So that we're going to go in one direction or the other, depending on what happens with these next 2 picks, right?
Yes. Yep. I think we discussed that at length, and I'm
up next.
Totally comfortable with that.
Thomas, and then 1 pick.
On the clock.
There he
And
is.
it's Metcalf.
Which was your boy.
Yeah, I wanted Metcalf, but there is a running back here we both like.
Yeah, Aaron Jones. You want to pull the trigger on that?
I think it's Aaron Jones, and then Adam, I think it's Ridley.
So
Ridley slipped where Metcalf didn't.
Yeah, so I'm all in on Jones here, so we'll take our time with that and talk more about our 2nd pick. Ridley. I'm comfortable with Ridley. He's the number 1 receiver there. Don't care too much about schedule because, it's the full 17 weeks, right? So we don't have to worry about playoff schedule and all that. We're getting the whole thing. He's the number 1 option there.
15 seconds left.
Any concerns about, I'm taking Aaron Jones right now. Any concerns about the ankle or, there's some talk about he had a little foot procedure going on?
Sure. But these injury things, you never really know how to read them. And I feel like Ridley is a player where I think there's a tier break. I don't think I need to be too careful.
Too cute
with too cute at this point.
Okay, I'm totally on board with Ridley. Just for the sake of argument, DeAndre Swift, is he the next tier for you, or is he in this tier?
I would not have wanted a running back had Jones gone in the previous 2 picks. Okay. I think there is a break before Swift. I don't dislike him, but for me, there were 15 running backs, as we discussed, and Jones is number 15.
Perfect.
So I'm not interested in Swift here. I'd rather get wide receiver 1. I think that's Ridley pretty clearly.
Love it. All right, Ridley, we got it. I like that. So how do you feel? Did you think Ridley was going to fall?
No, I mean, I didn't expect it. You can't really know. I mean, for me, it was more likely that Metcalf would be the player. But look, everybody else knows this and has said it. You have very sharp players. You have players with lots of teams that will want some diversification. You have people trying to build, and they know they're in a sharp room, so they're probably going to take those kind of chances more often. I mean, there's just no reason to assume anything, really,
Sure.
in a room like this, to me. So it's not what I thought was the likeliest outcome, but it isn't either surprising per se. I think Hopkins at 3 of the receivers is kind of interesting. Nothing about what happened at tight end is surprising at all.
Yeah.
And really the running backs thing is also that. So I think, with the exception of who the names are, to a point, we're pretty much where we thought we'd be. There's Kyle Pitts, by the way.
Yeah, there he goes. And so we, if you care, the main event ADP had Ridley going at the 2.6 and Aaron Jones going at the 2.7. So we got value there. Again, this is best ball. That is not. But yeah, I'm happy with Aaron Jones. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, we're loving life. But what's interesting about Aaron Jones is if the thing about the Packers is once they got inside the 5-yard line, it was still Rodgers to Adams all the time. So people might knock on Aaron Jones, that the Packers won't score as much or whatever, or the efficiency won't be as much, and it won't. It will not be the same with Love at quarterback if Rodgers isn't there. But when they get inside the 5, if more of that goes to Aaron Jones, then he's going to score more fantasy points. So he does have to deal with Dillon a little bit, maybe at the goal line, but I love Aaron Jones at the 2-3 turn. If Rodgers is there, I love him at the 1-2 turn. So I'm happy with it. I
like Jones. I think the first thing I think of is who else is in the picture, and A.J. Dillon should matter in that offense. People say sort of in the way Jamal Williams did. We don't know exactly, and the Rodgers X factor is obviously significant. So I would have liked Harris over Jones. I would have liked even probably CEH over Jones. Those guys went quite a bit earlier. Mixon is close for me. So still, Jones was on the line, above the line. And I think it was important to get a second running back there, given how we want to do the rest of it. There goes Swift at 3-8. So team 8 is 3 running backs to start. Everybody has at least one, Adam. Yes.
Yeah, I've noticed in team 9 and 10 going with 2 out of the first 3. So I don't know. It's just too early to chat about. We were talking about, Aaron Jones and the Packers there. Do we want to look to handcuff Aaron Jones? Is that something that we're looking to do? I know handcuffing in best ball is probably my least strategy.
You mean Dillon?
Yes.
No, I don't. I mean, it wouldn't be this time around anyway.
Oh, sure. No, I know. Of course.
Yeah. I don't think we should want to do that. There goes Mark Andrews.
Oof.
At 3-11. That's Evan Silva also. We had talked a lot about him. And 4-12, which is our next pick, would have been late for Andrews, but not impossible.
Yeah.
So that strategy's out.
Yeah, no, I know. We were talking about that quite a bit. But yeah.
Well, if I didn't say, I'm sorry, but if I didn't say it about Jones, like people consider the opportunity and Dillon exists, but Williams existed in Green Bay and Jones still put up great seasons. So I think you're sort of comfortable with what he has meant to their offense, and they paid him. You have that too.
Yep. No, I totally agree.
There goes Mahomes at 3-12, first quarterback that we thought might be in the 4th round.
Yeah.
But it happens at 3-12. How about that team with 3 running backs and Patrick Mahomes so far? That's interesting. I think maybe wide receivers. We'll see if round 4 is all yellow. Maybe what round 4, as it gets to us, will be mostly yellow. But even still, so far, I feel like that's where our money is when it comes to be our turn. If there's 2 or 3, even quarterbacks the tight ends aren't going to happen here probably. I feel like this is mostly a wide receiver round.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's why I like in best ball to me, when you're picking from the 1 or 2 or whatever, like you need to go at least 2 running backs to start, because we've talked ad nauseum about this, but my strategy in the best ball, and there goes my guy Hawkinson, who we can talk about.
4-4.
We can talk about that in a minute here now that he's gone. But yeah, my thing is, man, get those workhorse, or even like they don't have to be workhorse, but get those backs that are going to get the touches, that are going to get the weekly production, because in best ball, you can get those receivers that are going to pop in those touchdowns week in and week out, rounds 10 through 20. The running backs, they either hit as a backup, they come in for injury, but it's very rare that like you'll get a running back pop in for 1 touchdown, but he's only going to get like 20 rushing yards and he'll still a goal line carry and score. He's not going to start for you. If a receiver pops in a touchdown in round 13, it's usually a long or whatever. He's going to get 3 catches for 60 and a score. He's starting for you. So like my whole thing is get those running backs early and just grab those receivers late. They're going to pop in a week here and a week there. They're going to pop into that starting lineup for you. So I definitely wanted at least 2. I'm super happy we got that. I didn't think Hawkinson would ever fall to us at the end of the 4th, but he's my tight end 3, to be honest with you. Personally, I didn't feel comfortable taking him at the 2-3 turn, but like, man, anytime I'm at the end of the first round, man, I'm looking to take Hawkinson at the end of the 3rd.
Well, he goes tight end 4. He goes above Andrews and often Pitts too. So
holy Javonte Williams and Mike Davis. Wow.
Javonte Williams and Mike Davis. That makes me feel good. Like I want this to not be all yellow.
Yes.
And that's 3. Well, now we have Robinson, but we really need to look at wide receiver here.
Yep.
I think in terms of tight end, the next guy up is Goddard. And Goddard's ADP. Go ahead.
Miles Sanders. Are we interested in him if he falls to the turn? We're up in 2 picks.
I mean, keep going. Wide receiver is looking like what here?
Yeah.
Julio Jones. Right? Is Godwin still up there?
Kupp, Godwin.
Yeah.
Julio.
I think we want at least one of those 3 guys.
Lockett. Yep. So we're going to get one of those 3. Lockett, Julio, Godwin. Did Kupp just –
Nope.
No. Kupp's there.
Evans went. Woods went.
Yep. So it's basically – so Evans.
No, you know what, Adam? I would be no on Miles Sanders. And it's really more, in my opinion, it's really more about the roster build. I could do 2 receivers here, or I could do a wide receiver and Goddard. But
you are up next.
What do you? There goes Sanders anyway.
So Sanders is gone. So I would lean.
Jacobs. Wow.
Jacobs, perfect. So I would lean away from Goddard only because we're going to get 2 receivers that we love here, or we go with your number 2 quarterback. You know what I mean? Okay.
No.
Perfect.
I think it's 2 yellows.
I
like. I mean, I'm just one player here, but I like Godwin, Julio Jones, Cooper Kupp. You pick 2 of those 3. I'm happy with all of them.
All right. So I like Julio and Kupp. Are you okay with that?
You have an argument against Godwin? Who's your favorite before we have that conversation? Who do you like the most? Well,
honestly, I like Godwin 4th. I would take Lockett ahead of Godwin. I just think that with Antonio Brown there all off season, you want Julio first?
Doesn't matter. Take one of them.
Okay, we'll go Julio.
You are on the clock.
So
I think we know what we're doing. It's Julio and Kupp.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll take Julio and Kupp. I think that Godwin, my thing with Godwin is you got Evans there. You got Antonio Brown there, full off season, healthy, looking good. We get the tight ends back. We got Gronk the whole off season, right? We got OJ Howard the whole off season. I just think that Godwin, although he's in a contract year, I don't think he's got the upside that Julio's got. I don't think People forget Cooper Kupp 2 years ago before he got hurt was a top 3 fantasy receiver. Like they're getting Stafford. That offense I think is going to be absolutely explosive. Back to 3 years ago when they were putting up 60 points against the Chiefs on primetime. Like that's the type of offense I'm looking for. McVay is thrilled to have Stafford there. And so, barring injury, I think Kupp's a top 12 receiver, top 10 receiver, barring injury.
Very interesting to see what happens there. The big difference between his last 2 seasons is clearly touchdowns. He had 10, I think, and then 3.
Yep.
And so you want to maybe guess that comes down in the middle, but it is a new quarterback, and there's a lot of different ways that can go. I'm happy. I'm not against. You are very happy or excited about the Ram being a part of the Ram scene here, and like I told you, I get it. I don't want to fight against it, and I think Godwin is one of those guys that's so good. But you're right; it's broken up in a way that might scare you off a little bit when you have other options. Julio Jones. One thing about our build so far is we're going to land on one of those quarterbacks if almost without fail, like Matt Ryan, Tannehill, Stafford. One of those guys is probably on our roster at the end of the night.
Yes, and if I had to choose, for sure it's Tannehill between those two. I love his rushing upside. I love, obviously, the weapons that he has. So I could certainly see Tannehill on our roster. Stafford, I love Stafford. I mean, I'm a little, I'm totally on board with these rushing quarterbacks and all the upside that they bring. But I see Stafford as like a borderline. He could be an MVP candidate this year. I'm that high on that team, that offense, his ability, the weapons there. So listen, Stafford and Tannehill, we could take them both. You know what I mean? We'll see how the draft gets out.
Would that be a situation where you would be done with quarterback if that's where we ended up?
100.
If we had those two guys, both
totally.
pretty durable.
Yeah, so Stafford goes at the 11-7. So we'd have to take him, and then Stafford, and then Tannehill.
They're close. They're close.
Where's Tannehill?
They're close.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, they're right there. Yeah, Tannehill goes 11-9, right? So it might be a situation where we have to go back-to-back quarterbacks there, take them both. And again, depending on how the roster looks, I'm not opposed to that, taking back-to-back quarterbacks and calling it a day.
All right, so we had how about Allen goes quarterback 4.
Yep.
And then Jackson 5 to Evan. It's Prescott, I guess, that jumped up on that list to quarterback 2.
And honestly, like I could totally see Dak Prescott being. Here's the thing: I could see all these quarterbacks being the number 1 QB. Totally.
That's right. That's why you don't do it.
That's why. That's why you don't do it. That's why you take the very last one. So, hey, Evan Silva took Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson. He did what we wanted to do.
That's right. We were talking about that at the 3-4 or the 4-5.
Yeah.
Like if Andrews slipped, Andrews would have had to slip. But that is one we would have if Andrews had made it to 4-12, we would have gone Andrews Jackson.
Yep.
Well, I like Evan. I mean, he seems like a reasonable guy.
he
knows what he's doing.
That's right.
I was in the same division as Evan last year.
Okay.
And I had him on my WGR show with Bulldog before that draft, and I was just trying to show off to him, like, oh, we got pros versus Joes coming up. And he said something like, well, listen, you know a lot more about my pros versus Joes team than I do at this point. He kind of dismissed it. But I don't know. Like I love seeing his name in my groups because I think a lot of him.
Yeah, no, Evan totally knows what he's doing. So what are we thinking here? 70. We've been picking at the 6-7 turn. I like Sermon. I like what position are we looking at? What are you thinking?
I want to take at least one receiver here.
Okay.
All else equal. And there's one player I want to talk about, but I want to sort of wait and not jinx it and see if he comes up. And I think you'll like it if we do it, but I'm not ready to say his name into the camera yet.
Yep.
As far as running back goes, I don't know. Is like Sermon the only one?
Kind of. So like I like you know how I feel about Michael Carter as well. But
I'm okay with Mike. The guy you just typed in the chat is the guy I was just referring to. So yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm okay with that. For sure. And then let me see who's available at that position as well.
This is about when 6-12 is Carter, like that's his territory.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to end up with what, 5 running backs, maybe 6?
Yes. I mean, what it looks like if we go receiver and then that other whatever. If we go the other player and then the receiver here, we're really looking to pound running back in rounds 8, 9, 10. Like we're looking at a couple other guys that we've talked about before in podcasts, some running backs that we both like.
Yeah. And even later, perhaps.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure that we're not reaching on the position just because we need it. So it's like
no.
If we take a running back here, I like Sermon. If we don't, if we're not going to take Sermon, I really don't want a running back here. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yep. So, what receivers are you thinking here?
Well, you have Ayuk.
Okay.
Is somebody on the board here, I believe.
Do you hate Robbie Anderson?
No. Okay. I do not hate Robbie. It's finally somebody asked me that question. Finally, someone
You've been waiting.
Gave me the opportunity to address this.
Well, he just got
I do not hate
ahead.
Robbie Anderson.
Speak freely.
I mean, you have Chenault. There he goes, by the way, so good job.
That's right.
That's early. That's early.
Sigmund's watching the pod and sniping us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure he's watching us. There goes Ayuk, Edmonds, Anderson, Sermon.
So we're on the clock. So we know what one we're taking Higbee, right?
We're taking Tyler Higbee. Let's address it.
Yep. We're taking Higbee.
This is I think I'll just say this quickly so I can go back to looking at the board. I think with tight end, I was worried without Andrews picking 101 and without Kelsey, I was worried about getting stuck. Higbee is somebody where I feel good about that. And it's a touch early, but not that much. I mean, I'm going to be able to sleep tonight on tight end because of this.
Perfect. So receiver, what are we thinking? Or
so many good names. Chenault, okay. Devontae Smith is interesting. Now Hurts went, or did he not go? He did not go, right? Hurts
is still available, and so is Russell Wilson.
All right, take Higbee.
Yep, got Higbee locked in.
You are on the clock.
I think I like receiver again. I mean, I'm not a big Deontay guy, but is he available too?
Deontay, no.
He's probably gone. Ayuk is gone.
I mean, if I had to pick here, I would take one of the Denver receivers.
Judy,
okay. Lock it in. Lock it in. I like it.
I'm glad you said that. Because I sort of want to have Judy on my teams, but I feel like I have to argue for him a little bit, and tonight I didn't need to.
I mean, he's a stud. He was a stud at Alabama coming out. His hands will be fine. Listen, he's a receiver. He's not going to drop all those passes like he did last year. He's getting wide open. His route running is insane. He's getting wide open. I'm totally not worried about Sutton. Scares me again because of the injury, and it's like, is he going to get back? But again, this is a hedge. If Rodgers ends up in Denver, my God, Judy's to the moon. So, and even if he doesn't, he's our fourth receiver. So, totally not worried about it. I think he's super skilled coming into his second year. I think he'll be fine.
I love this so far.
Yeah.
I mean, Andrews is nice, but I feel a little bit like, I don't know, I'm sort of left wanting with my teams if Andrews is on it. I know why I did it because of the tight end thing we talked about, but we didn't get there.
And that's not the feeling, and I totally get it. And that's not the feeling you want to have when you take a tight end in the fourth round, right? So
no.
If you're going to have that, even if you have that feeling with Higbee, it's like, all right, well, we took him at the 6-7 turn. We could take another one, and it wouldn't seem weird. You took a tight end in the third or fourth round, you better be prepared to ride with that guy all year.
Yeah, so right now we're sort of riding the McCaffrey advantage.
Yes.
We didn't get to Miles Sanders, who you talked about, Trey Sermon, both guys you talked about. I don't know where we're at on running backs. Can you see that on this board, where we are and how many running backs have been picked?
Yeah,
Is that showing up?
Yeah, we've had 31 running backs to take in.
In the middle of 7. There goes Carter.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, right, you have McCaffrey, and you said it before we started, like you think of him as maybe 1.5, and you want to, in a league like this, you want to think like your best players, your top picks are going to do well. You have to assume that if your top picks get hurt or bust for some other reason, then you're losing, and you can't spend the rest of your draft trying to make up for that outcome, that possible outcome. So right now we have a team where if our top 2 running backs play to form, we're pretty much fine at that position. We'll definitely fill it out. And we've been able to use the other picks on receivers here. Fun to have Ridley and Julio together now that they're on different teams. I think I probably have early offseason teams with both of them before they were split up. So, all right, so far so good. There goes Russell Wilson.
Yep.
There goes Damian Harris. He's somebody I would have talked about, but he always seemed to be picking on the end like we are. He was always out of reach. He was either going to be an early reach or just he was going to go. But I think Harris is a nice idea.
Yeah, and again, it depends on your build, right? So if you're going to go like a 0 RB build and you just want a guy to fill in there so you can snatch, a stud off of waivers, I think Harris is fine. Again, I think it depends on who starts at quarterback. He's not going to get passed on work. If someone's going to get it, it's going to be James White. So, again, this guy went with a modified 0 RB, Jeff Tirabassi. So, he's got Chubb, he's got Harris. He's not going to get a ton of catches there, but he's got four receivers. So, yeah. So, I mean, I think it's a little early for him, but I think you could have gotten him 3 picks after that or whatever it was, 4 or 5 picks after that. But I guess if you like him, go ahead and take him. I threw up a couple players in the chat there. I'm not sure what you thought of them in the private chat. But I think
it's funny how one of those guys is somebody you have disparaged.
Well, I've disparaged him at ADP. This is where I like him. You know what I mean?
Well, that would be 8-12, 9-1, and that's about par for that player.
Yeah. So I'm
okay. I'm okay.
I mean, what else? Because do we want to keep pushing running back and take another position, or what are you thinking?
No, I think one running back there is fine. I think quarterback depends on what happens.
Yep.
I think wide receiver is still really good.
Yes.
We'll see if this is a yellow round. I mean, there are still some really nice ideas at receiver, and I don't mind taking a 5th here. I think when you get into the second half of drafts, say we want to get to 7 or 8 receivers, Adam.
Yep.
I think in the second half, it's really just a total guess. You're looking at guys that are 3 or 4 on their team, and like you're in Denzel Mims territory, where you've probably already read some reason to feel like it's not going to work out. I like the name in the text. Let's see what ADP is. That's a very interesting player too. I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
Stay tuned and find out who it is.
That's right.
Either way you will find out who it is. Should we say for people who are not following this draft other ways that this is a slim format, so no kickers or defense, 18 rounds, best ball.
Yeah, break it down.
Weeks 1 through 17. Yeah, weeks 1 through 17, total points for the season. The winner of this draft gets a main event seat in 2022. Adam and I are competing in the main event this year in Vegas, which will be fun. There's no kicker strategy or defense strategy. I tend to prefer kickers and defense, just more variation leads to more opportunities, I think, and more benefit to those who've done their research. But this is great. This will go faster. It's possible that my in-laws will still be here at the time when I'm done because we've had my daughter's birthday party today, right. And there's a chance that we will be done before they leave.
Yeah, no, I like the slim. I wish it was a little bit fatter. Like I wish it was 20 rounds, but I like not having to worry about defenses and kickers. Slims goes much quicker. It's better for content. It's better for everybody, I feel like. But 20 rounds, I think. So the Draft Sharks Invitational is slim. It's also super flex, but it's 25 rounds. But and there's no defense or kicker, so you're really drafting the 3 and 4 receivers on every team. But yeah, so So I like it. It's to me, the main event team's nice. You obviously want it's first or last, right? Like this says. I got the Pros vs. Joes T-shirt. If you're not first, you're last, right? So you got to come
Mike
in
Honcho.
first. That's right. That's right.
Right.
You got to come in first. So we're shooting for first. The main event team's nice, but it's also about bragging rights, right? Because there's a lot of I don't know a lot of these Joes, but a lot of the pros, man. I'm in these main event streets with these guys all year. So this is a nice little bragging rights tournament.
I listened to the Chasing the Helmet podcast where they had Shane on, who picks at 3 in this draft, and they were all like, "Oh yeah, first overall is what we're doing." And, good for you, but I don't care at all about that. I want to win the main event seat. I want to win the division. They're interested in their standings for posterity. Who cares? Like I'm not. Fine if you get it, but I just want to win the prize.
Yeah.
And the prize is first place in this division. I don't want to worry about the other divisions and who they're going to take. Anyway, we can keep talking about that. But there goes Tannehill.
There goes Tannehill,
and then Brady.
You are on the clock.
And there goes Connor.
Tannehill and Brady in the 8th. We're on the clock. All right, so
Do you think we should take our quarterback? I think maybe we should.
I think we should. Being at the end of the draft, it's it is best ball, so they're going to go a little bit quicker. Should we go Jalen Hurts?
I'm thinking Stafford.
Ooh,
it's early. It's really early.
Yeah.
We also like Mike Williams. I don't think there's a third running back we like, or do you think there is?
Let me look at running back. No. Nope. So I'm okay with going Stafford for sure. Yeah. Cool. Because it's
early. It's early, and he's not a runner, but we can figure that out.
Yeah.
Take Mike Williams.
Take Mike Williams. Okay. I love Mike Williams. You know that. Now it's between.
I think Hurts is great, and I want you to decide because Hurts is the better value, but Stafford, we have Kupp and Higbee, and that's our team.
Yeah, in a vacuum, I would take Hurts, but because we have Higbee and Kupp, it just makes sense to go Stafford, and we can get that quarterback with rushing upside later, even if it's the next round, even if it's 2 rounds from now. I'm okay with going with a quarterback with that rushing upside later. So I'm okay with Stafford here. I love it. Let's lock it in.
Wow.
I like it.
Fine.
And again, it's a little early based on like FFPC ADP again. But the one thing that does change kind of significantly is when you do best ball, quarterbacks go earlier because you need, there's no waivers, there's none of that. So some teams are going to take 3. So you got to start early. If you're going to take 3, you got to load up. And being at the end of the draft, it's great because you get Christian McCaffrey, but it's bad because if we pass on a quarterback there, 6 might go between now and then. And now we're taking guys that we don't believe in. And I want to take guys that I believe in.
You have Burrow coming up. You have Rodgers coming up. You had Hurts. You still have Hurts coming up. Like that's going to be a win for somebody.
Yes.
It's just like, we're building this. The Rams are a key team. And so Stafford was important. I thought 11-1, but in the main event drafts, according to Fantasy Mojo, Darren Armani, Stafford and Tannehill were about together, and Stafford goes mid-8. Like, that's A.J. Brown, right? The team that picked Tannehill has A.J. Brown. So they're not willing to wait, and I feel like we're right. Also not willing to wait on that.
Yeah, no, I think that was the right move. And so hey, listen, word on the street is the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour is talking about our draft, and they really like it. So we'll have to check that podcast out afterwards and see what they think when we're all done botching this thing.
Well, what street? What street are you on where that word is percolating? Like, what street is this?
I can see the messages coming in on YouTube and Twitter and all that, and so they were just pointing out Tim MC here. Hold on, in case you don't believe me, I gotta post it here.
I believe you, but I mean, what street are we talking about?
The
here?
street, Tim MC. We're getting some compliments in the High Stake Football Hour, which isn't necessarily a good thing. You know what I mean? Because sometimes,
No, I think it is.
Okay, all right, perfect.
I'm older than you. I'll take all the compliments I can get. I'm not gonna poo compliments.
Now, what do you think about Mike Guzliak going Tannehill Hurts back to back in the 8th and 9th?
I think it's great. Tannehill runs a little bit, but Hurts is money.
Yeah,
I think in these drafts, Hurts is money. We could have done Hurts and Stafford. That's something we could have thought of. I never thought of that in the prep for this tonight because I thought Stafford was later. I thought Hurts was like here, and then Stafford was going to be a possibility here. But that's an interesting way to play it.
Well,
you're
maybe, but listen, usually Stafford and Brady go hand in hand. Tannehill got taken way early in the 8th round, so like. I don't think there was a way to really get the both of them. So I'm comfortable with Stafford.
Yeah, we would have had to take Stafford and Hurts over Mike Williams.
Yeah, back to back. Yeah.
And so you have your statue and your stacks, then you have your rushing high floor player in Hurts. I think there's. I never thought of it.
Yeah.
I never thought of it. And, that's kind of a cool idea. So sure. I think maybe that's a good idea there. What Team 6 did. Because he's got his stack with Brown. But, I'm not here to talk about the past. That's all in the past.
That's
now
right.
This is the team we have, and we have to figure out running back a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, challenging. We'll probably have some disagreements about who's worth what at this point. We see that Kenyan Drake is the most recent running back picked. That's at 9.7, and he's running back 37.
The recent running back was Drake at running back 37. Yep.
All right, so we're going to have to get a little bit clever there, but that's the idea. We don't see Dylan yet.
We do not see Dylan yet. No.
I don't think I want to do that. Do I?
Yeah, no, Dylan doesn't sound great. I mean, no. If not with this roster build. Like if Jones goes down and Dylan gets in, it doesn't really help. It makes us worse. Like if we want to handcuff, I'd rather handcuff somebody else. I hate handcuffing in best ball.
Yeah, right. Pollard or Madison or somebody like that.
Right. I'm okay with Pollard or Madison. Right. I don't want AJ Dillon because I'm not even convinced Dillon's going to be, an RB 1 or 2 if Jones goes down.
Is Pollard gone?
Pollard is not gone.
All right. Madison is still up. Pollard is still up.
Nope. There's a bunch of
Henderson. I mean, we're all Rams here. I don't know if. How do you feel about putting a running back? I'm not sure I want to, but I just want to ask. How do you feel about putting a running back into that build?
I'm okay. I'm okay with it. To me, it's more about does it fit our running backs rather than does it fit the Ram stack. Listen, if we take Henderson and Akers goes down, then we're really all then we're really locked and loaded. We got the whole Rams offense, but yeah, as long as it fits our team build, I'm okay with it for sure. So I put a guy in the chat there that I like for here. If you're taken.
What's ADP?
That's a good question. 10-8. So we would be getting about 10-1. I also like. Let me see if there's a lot of. It's just right now.
What's the ceiling?
Well, at this point, for running backs, I'm looking for guys that are just going to get either I want a handcuff that has a shot at an injury in mega points, or I'm looking for a guy that can just get me, double-digit points every week. And actually, the guy I put in the chat is actually both, I think. But McCaffrey starting for us every single week, no doubt about it. He's going to be one of our top 2 running backs every single week. So Jones will probably be close to it, in and out. I want some guys that are going to kind of back them up here that can get some points here and there during bye weeks and all that stuff. Because basically, none of the running backs now, we're not going to love them. We just need guys that have a shot at getting us points every single week to fill in that RB2 spot.
How do you feel about the name I just very quietly typed into the chat?
Love that. Well, I actually have him queued up here on our draft.
Okay.
And I have him and this guy.
The other guy.
This guy queued up.
Okay, let's do one of them.
Yep.
It's
super early, but again, we pick at the end, and I don't care. Like if it's a couple rounds, it's a couple.
Do you have a preference?
I do. My guy, I like a little bit better.
All right.
Yeah, but I know you love
ADP. Yeah, I do.
ADP leans my guy a little bit too.
Not in main event.
Oh, really? Let me see.
There goes Dylan. That's fine.
You are on the clock.
You're right. Your guy does lean a little bit more. I think if we want one of them, we got to take them now.
I agree. I want to.
Okay. So Lance or Fields, I'll let you make the pick. Honestly, it really both of them excite me.
I would be willing to take Fields because I don't have any Fields, and I've been drafting Lance 101 in Dynasty in Superflex drafts. Like I put him above Lawrence.
Yep.
I still think maybe there's a chance Garoppolo isn't even on that team. It's getting late for that.
Sure.
But, I think there's so much 40. Let's do Fields. Get ready. You do it.
Okay. Yep.
There's so much 49ers love. And there's this anti-Bear. The Bears have never had a good quarterback in your life.
Now you are on the clock.
Right. That's right. In my life.
And so that's the Schopp method. Like where are the biases? And the biases are very much pro 49ers, even though that coach has only had a few really good ranking offensive seasons for all the credit he gets. I mean, I'm on board with Lance, but it's really true. And then Chicago just gets crushed all the time. Andy Dalton's going to start. He might play one game. So I like Fields there. I am fine with that.
I got to tell you, so running back here's fine. Pollard, Williams, Henderson, Madison. I really like the idea of Pittman. I don't know what you think, but
Pollard.
I
don't want Pittman.
Okay.
And I just bought myself some authority with the Fields. Like, you already did it. I mean, I think Pollard has been the best running back on Dallas since he got there.
Yeah.
And I know they paid Elliott, but I want to bet at some point these teams get with the efficiency and Pollard plays anyway. I think, I don't need an Elliott injury necessarily. His ADP is like mid-8th.
Yes, I completely agree. Yeah.
And this is 11.
Yeah. That's my thing. ADP's mid-8th. When I take Pollard, I don't think at all about the weekly points because I don't count on them at all. If Zeke goes down and McCaffrey's healthy, our team's going to compete for number 1 overall because Pollard is a top 8 fantasy running back if Zeke goes down. So that's the way I look at it. That's the way I did it when we did that football guys draft. I took McCaffrey. I took Pollard. Now I took Pollard probably 2 rounds earlier, but that's it. That's the thing, man. ADP and just if Zeke goes down, we're sitting real pretty.
I want to give credit to Team 7, Michael, with the Tannehill Hurts back-to-back, and you pointed that out, and I said, I never really thought about that. That's what made me think, like, we should do that, backdoor it with Lance or Fields, and we were able to do that. And your point about the quarterbacks going up in best ball, we've seen that through the night. I mean, yes. So I don't feel bad about the Pollard or the Stafford pick. Pollard – in a vacuum, Pollard works at whatever that is, not 701, but 901.
Right.
I mean, we had picked Pollard at 9 because we needed a third running back, and then Stafford at 11. We'd feel like, we got good value, and we like our team. It's the same team.
Right, that's right.
So you're just you're playing the board, and you have to sort of get lucky a little bit. I feel like maybe Pollard was a little bit fortunate, so that's good.
I mean, I don't want to give too much away. Are we done? Are we done at QB?
Maybe. Let's figure out tight end. I mean, we've seen 4 in a row now. I liked Everett, and that's round 11 for Everett.
Yep.
Well, that'll be a little bit challenging now. That's not early for him. Troutman. So Jared Cook. We're gonna want somebody. All right, I got a name.
Oh, I like it. Type it in. Unfortunately, so we've got Stafford. His bye is week 11, and Chicago gets Baltimore that week. So that's not optimal.
Who knows?
Who knows? No, I get it, but it's not something that we're loving. Yeah, that makes sense.
They play each other. They play each other week 1. That could be fun if Fields gets that game. He maybe won't, but all right.
But yeah.
Well, we're still in the market at all positions. Maybe less so quarterback, especially like right here, but we're still in the market at all positions.
Well, as soon as you said tight end, man, Blake Jarwin, Jonnu Smith, Cook, Everett, which might end up helping us because we're not looking great at running back either. So if we can get a couple running backs that fall here, I wouldn't hate that either.
Yep, I'm looking for names. I'm sure you are too.
Are you in the draft room?
Yes.
Can you see my queued players?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I think all that helps. Thank you for asking. I like all of them.
Okay, perfect.
I do not want Pittman. I'm betting on Campbell in Indianapolis over Pittman.
Okay, well then we might as well queue him up too because I don't hate the idea of him. The one thing I heard about Pittman, and this can be said about Campbell too, I guess, is they need Pittman, right? They need Pittman or for Campbell. They need someone to step up and be that alpha wide receiver 1. I think it's Pittman. It could be Campbell. Campbell went to Ohio State. He's got the pedigree. He's been hurt. They need somebody to step up as that wide receiver 1. So if that's Campbell, I'm willing to take a shot at Campbell. And if it is, great. If it's not, whatever, he's a 13th, 14th round pick. Who cares? They both
have the draft capital piece in their favor with Indianapolis. What makes me like Campbell is it's not a law per se, but the only thing that has held him back is injuries.
Yes.
And he's had many. And he's it's not a situation like he's healthy now. It's not a situation where you'd think he has some injury history that should preclude him from doing well. Like he's healthy now. You're sort of betting against the injury prone idea, which I love betting against that because some people think they can tell you who's going to get hurt, and they are almost always wrong. I mean, in Buffalo, I've been on the air in Buffalo for more than 20 years, and whenever there's a running quarterback, when it was Tyrod Taylor, he'll get hurt. It's people's excuse for telling you that they just don't want him for whatever other reason. But He didn't get hurt. He ran all the time. Like he was great at it. It was a weapon. Allen is much bigger and runs a lot too. And, you have some people who will still say it's dangerous and whatever, but those guys don't get hurt anymore. I'm sort of going off on the tangent on quarterbacks any more often than Ben Roethlisberger, who stands in the pocket. So I want to bet against injury prone when I can. And I think that I'm going on about Campbell here, who maybe someone will take in front of us, but that's the argument against him. We like the offense. They traded for a quarterback. You don't have to like the quarterback, but they did do that. They are invested in Campbell, maybe more so in Pittman because he's more recent. But I feel like Campbell is value. I think he's really good, and he's on a team, like you said first, where there's a little bit of a room for him to do well. Yeah,
I completely agree. Running back wise, so we've only got one left in our queue that we had. But again, he's more of a handcuff. Do we care about getting another running back that can give us some weekly points? Because right now it's McCaffrey and Jones. And if Pollard doesn't get even if he plays, he's going to get you 8-9 points in best ball, do we care about anyone getting us weekly points, or do we not, or are we just taking whatever running back we can get our hands on?
I think it's really tough right now to find who those running backs are.
Yeah.
You like Jamal Williams.
Yeah, he gone,
And there goes McKissick. I had no interest in McKissick.
Yeah.
He was going to get phased out of the passing game, I think, anyway, and he got bigger. So I was going to argue against him. I do like the name on your list. Yeah.
Well,
I like, just again in a vacuum, not to use the cliche over and over, but I like the one running back, one receiver play right here.
Now you are on the clock.
Okay. So Russell Gage went. Yeah. So you're thinking Madison?
I am. Yeah. Yep. I think we shoot for the moon there.
Shoot for the moon. Yep. Okay. And then, so what are we thinking for the next pick? Do we need to take a tight end here? Do we need, I think we're good at quarterback for now, or do you want to go running, or do you want to go receiver?
Well, let's see. This is 13-1.
Yeah.
You're going to pick Madison at the last second?
Yes. Yep. So that we got
you don't like my guy at 13-1. That's right on par with when he's picked.
Yeah, I know. I don't mind him. You're talking about Cole Kmet?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't mind him there because we have because we do have Fields. I probably wouldn't take him there if we didn't have Fields, but if Fields is going to hit, Kmet's probably going to hit too. And we do need it. We need a tight end.
I mean, who are the other options? Is it Ferkser?
I have Ferkser, and then I have Ferkser, and then I've got Zach Ertz, crossing our fingers that he would get traded to Buffalo, but I don't think that's happening if that hasn't happened yet.
If he gets traded to Buffalo, he's Dawson Knox. Do we want Dawson Knox from 2020?
Well, if you add all those drop passes in, maybe.
Yeah. No, I like Kmet. There's upside. I like the stack factor.
Let's do it then. Let's do it.
Graham is still there.
Graham is still there. That's, I mean, yeah. Let's take Kmet, and then we can talk about Graham. Yeah, Graham.
What I know is I don't like the tight ends after this.
Correct. That I completely agree. It's Kmet or Ferkser, and then none of
zeros.
Zero. Yeah. No.
You have weekly zeros. That's last year really. Like Howard and Herndon. Oh my gosh. I went on Eric Balkman. I got to listen back to that thing. As soon as we're done, I'm going to do that, assuming my in-laws have left. Because I called into their show last year about the draft that I was in. And I had Hawkinson, I think, and then O.J. Howard. And we talked about tight end. I'm like, look, I need that to destroy, because if it doesn't, I'm going to get stuck with zeros. And I did. Like there were bad weeks. So that could happen with this build too. Sure.
Yeah. And I think with this build, as much as we don't love the tight ends later, I think we're going to have, I don't know. I kind of want to take another one, a flyer. I think I can sleep at night if we leave with these quarterbacks, but I think if we don't add another tight end, I might not sleep as well. So,
I mean, Sam's comment about Hurts, I don't disagree. Like Hurts, I'm happy to get him in drafts. I think in this draft it was, when was that going to happen? We had our shot.
Yeah.
But Fields is
but listen,
exciting too.
Fields could be better than Hurts. You know what I mean? He's not going to play the whole season, but he might play 12, 13 weeks. Like Fields is Hurts, but I think he's a little bit better. Listen, Hurts is all rushing to me. Like he came out, he wasn't drafted nearly as high as Fields. Hurts had accuracy issues. He had anticipation issues, throwing it, like all throwing stuff, right? So like, I think Fields is Hurts. He's a better. I mean, Fields ran like a 4.3 or a 4.4 40. So he's going to give every bit of rushing that Hurts is going to give you. And Fields is also a better passer. He's a great downfield passer in college. He's got some weapons there. We've got one of them. He's got Allen Robinson. So I think Fields could be Hurts even better around later.
Yeah, I just try to find. I'm always looking for where I think there are biases in the public hemisphere, and with the Bears, it's always like there's a predisposition to disliking their guys because it's the Bears.
Sure.
And so that makes me want to think that there is value in that. And do they have to let Justin Fields sit for 9 weeks because they're the Bears and because Nagy made an offhanded comment about Andy Dalton or whatever? Like, no, I want to. Those are where I think there are opportunities where you can win.
Sure.
And that isn't a comparison with Hurts, because I think Hurts is somebody who might get disrespected, not so much in fantasy circles because of his draft value, and like his rushing is so good that it shouldn't beat you too bad. I like that team 7 for what they did, but we learned from them. And if we just said, what did we say at the beginning? Admit when you're wrong.
Yep.
Knowing when to do that. And I don't know, we still got Mike Williams instead. I like that. But yeah, all right, there's a good idea there. And so let's try to make our own version of it.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I'm fine with the way it turned out for us. I would have been fine with Hurts and Stafford. But I like the way it's been going so far.
All right.
Question, are we done at receiver? Do we want one more? Do we want 2 more? What are we thinking?
I'm definitely not done.
Yeah. So I got a couple queued up there. The one at the very top, I absolutely, never mind. He's gone.
Evan.
He just, freaking Evan. Yeah. So
Evan saved us from Henry Ruggs.
Oh no! So you're not a Henry Ruggs fan?
I mean, fine, but
in the third, I just don't. Was he overdrafted in the NFL? Sure, but is he dead? I mean, do we think that he's after 1 year in a COVID off season with Derek Carr? I don't know. Do we think that he's dead? I don't. I'd like to give him another shot in the 13th round.
Fine. If there's one team in the league that I trust the least to make good decisions, it's them.
True.
So I don't know. Like, how many years have we been talking about whether Derek Carr is coming out? 5?
Right. No, I get it.
So Carr has value. There is some value in that offense. There always is. Waller, Ruggs is fine, but I don't need him. He's not somebody that I'm excited about. And if I can be spared him, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah. How funny. So I basically queued up all the receivers that I guess I queued up a couple. I'll queue up a couple more that I'm interested. That the only guys I would really be interested. If you want to add guys, feel free. I know we've talked about some of these guys already, but so yeah, we could use another running back. Obviously, we could use anything really at this point.
Yep.
Yeah,
we want to figure out. You and I agree that you want to have 3 quarterbacks or 3 tight ends, but not 3 of each.
Correct. Yeah.
So we have 7 picks left?
We have.
No, it's less than that. It's less than that. 5 picks left.
5 picks left. Yep. 18 rounds.
There it is. So we have 5 picks left, and we are going to want 1 quarterback or 1 tight end. We have, running backs. We have 4, and I'm up for at least 1 more. Wide receiver, we have 5. I think at least 1 more.
Yep.
And then 1 QB or tight end, and then 1 more running back or receiver, depending on what we're looking at. Yep. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. I like it. I'm queuing up some running backs here. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of these handcuff guys because, like you said earlier, it's like there's going to be 3 or 4 of these running backs in the teens that are going to pop massively or even pop for a handful of weeks. You just don't know which ones they are because a lot of them you have question marks. A lot of them are rookies. A lot of them are, it depends on the running back in front of them that gets hurt. So I just think we take a couple of them and just cross our fingers that the running back in front of them gets hurt, or they pop.
Yeah. What about Hubbard on a McCaffrey team?
I was going to bring that up. Okay, so let me ask you: if the only place is first place, right? If Hubbard is Mike Davis from last year and McCaffrey goes down, do we win first place? Do we have a shot at it?
How close are we?
We're 4 picks away.
We have Elliott's handcuff and we have Cook's.
Yep.
If we have McCaffrey's, and I think there is an argument for Carolina. So their coaches get a lot of credit for their big brains. Do they have to play McCaffrey? Last year, I was sort of betting against the notion that McCaffrey would see the volume that he saw with Ron Rivera. And he did. He did for 2 games, then he got hurt, then he did for the 1 game in Kansas City, then he got hurt again. I'm saying I think there might be an opening for Hubbard to play a little bit more than what the second behind McCaffrey would normally play. And I do like him as, for what it's worth, and I don't think it's worth very much, but I do like him as a player for his college career. Last year, he was not as high profile, but the junior year was really, and there he goes anyway, so I can stop talking about Hubbard.
Oh,
but I think I would have been fine there.
I would have been okay there. You're right. 2 years ago, he was an absolute stud for Oklahoma State. Last year, he played with a high ankle sprain, and I didn't know that until doing some draft research. But anyways, all right, so we're on the clock.
Adam, yes. The running back I like here is Stevenson.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, no, I like Stevenson too. He's got a shot at LeGarrette Blount type workload. So
of the running backs on the board, and let's just look for a minute. I mean, it's another Booker is another handcuff. I think Stevenson is the one who, if he shines in camp, that he could get time right away, depending on what they see from Harris. And there's that handcuff potential also. So the injury.
I totally agree. So we'll go Stevenson. What else are we thinking?
15 seconds left.
I
think tight end should wait.
Yeah.
I think quarterback can definitely wait.
Yeah.
Now you are on the clock.
Do you hate? So, I mean, I think I messed you that. I like Rager. Again, another top first round pick that just didn't really click with Philly was a disaster last year. I like him as a breakout guy. Who do you like here for receiver?
Marshall a little bit.
Or running back.
I'm on receiver like you are. Where's Traquan Smith?
I think he was taken because I queued him up and he's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
20 seconds. Looking at the list.
I mean, we got Beasley. We got Deshaun Jackson with the Rams.
No.
Another Ram.
Let's go Rager.
Okay. I like that. Again, best ball. He's a deep threat. He's supposed to be a deep threat. I think with a full off season, I think again in the 15th round. If he stinks, okay, it's a 15th rounder. If he's good, if he's what they want, it's the same coaching staff there, So I think if they like it's actually not, but he was a first round pick last year for them. So I don't think they're going to give up on him so easily.
No, I don't either. I don't love the player. I never did, but there is an opening there, and I think really what I'm thinking about is how happy I am we took as many receivers as we did in the first half. Because when you get down here, like I said earlier on the show, it's really tough. You have somebody who's older or somebody who's unproven or somebody who doesn't have the opportunity, and it's just really tough. So
yeah,
I like that we loaded up the way we did 5 and 6 rounds between 3 and 8. And it takes a little bit of the pressure off here. I think we might still want one more, but it's not easy right now to figure out which guys that is.
Sure. And I think sometimes you just, you're not going to know. You're just going to take a guy that you think has the best situation to if everything breaks right for him is really it. I mean, that's kind of the case I was making for Rager is they spent, again, it's a new coach and all that, but they made a invest in the first round pick in him. Like you said, I didn't love the player, but I think he's got some potential. He's got speed. He's got the deep threat ability. And if we can get 4 or 5 starts out of him, we're winning in the 15th round. So
how do you feel about the decision of quarterback versus tight end, if that's how you want to frame it at this point? There are quarterbacks that might play weeks for us, still up there.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. I think if we're deciding between quarterback and tight end, I think the quarterbacks left are better than the tight ends left, but I think the tight ends, we have a better chance at getting a starter week out of a tight end at this point than we do out of a quarterback.
Yep. All right, I'll put the one I like on the list.
Okay.
And then I like this guy a little bit too.
Yeah, and I'll even throw one. Maybe I won't. But yeah, quarterbacks. Ben, Jameis. Goff's going to start. He's he's not going to give you any spike weeks. Taysom Hill would be a guy that you might want to take a shot at. He could be a top 6 quarterback with the weeks that he starts. There's a lot of options out there.
Yeah, I mean, Newton.
Tight end, not so much.
Right. No, that's interesting right now. This is what I'm thinking is like, this is where it really pays to figure out the whole roster build, before you start.
Yeah.
Because like we waited on quarterback and then we sort of rushed into the Fields idea, and even Stafford, like both of those guys were early. And then you see in the last couple rounds, Mayfield, Jones, Carr, Fitzpatrick, those guys will be starting quarterbacks in weeks, in every league. So whether what we need there, I think, is for Fields to really, really smash.
Yeah, I think Fields is going to be starting by week, 3 or 4. Yeah, and I think he's going to be awesome when he starts fantasy wise. I think he's going to be awesome. So I'm really not. I'm only worried about, an injury, really, and at that point, it's like, whatever. But I'm totally comfortable with those two. If those two guys play 17 games, I'm super comfortable with our quarterback situation.
I want to find. So we have the next turn, and then we'll have the last pick. And people don't know this, but this draft was not going to start until we opened the door, walked in the room. And it also will not end until we close it.
That's right.
That clock doesn't actually run out.
That's right. So we're going to let that thing ride out.
So I want at least one more really exciting player in one of these two. If there's a way to do it. I got a guy. He's on your list.
Ooh, he's on my list or he's on your list?
He's on your queue.
Oh, I love that. Put him in the private.
I'm moving him up.
Ooh. I'm so excited right now.
There. It's 8 picks away, but
yeah.
Let me check ADP on that guy.
I don't think he moved in my sheet yet. Let me refresh.
It'll be close. According to ADP, it'll be close.
Let's see. Ooh, I like that. Oh, so does somebody else apparently.
Oh, he went.
Jay Reed, Scott Connor, just
Kirk.
Of course, Christian Kirk.
Okay. They would do that. They would.
They would. Like they absolutely would. Okay. I mean, do you like Pringle?
Not really.
No. Okay. Do you like?
No. I like Hardman, but not really Pringle.
Okay. Do you
I like? Go ahead.
Any of the queued up guys?
I
mean,
no.
I don't mind the first tight end that you popped up there.
Not yet, though. Let's wait to the end.
Okay.
I think.
Yep. It would be our
How about
it would be
here,
the very
here's
last
a name.
draft then.
Here's a name.
You know. Ooh,
See it?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I don't hate that at all. It's a
Let's do
receiver.
that.
It's a receiver handcuff, and he's a great route runner. Yeah, no, I like it.
Let's take Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson. I like that for sure. Because he could be something regardless. You know, so all right, well, so we'll take Van Jefferson. So you like Van over Deshaun Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. So there's our receiver. Do we want to go with, I kind of like Ahmed. I kind of think he flashed last year. Gaskin, is he a workhorse that's going to play 17 games? I mean, what do you think?
I'm not excited. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami added somebody else even before the
15
season.
seconds left.
Sure.
You got Jefferson here?
I got him locked in.
I think I like other running back ideas more.
Okay.
Got 2 picks, right?
Well, if we're taking a tight end with our last pick, and you want another running back, it's got to be now.
Is that how you feel? Is that what you want to do?
I mean, if you like that tight end with our last pick, then we got to go running back now. That's what I'm totally okay with going running back now. But I don't know who else you want besides Ahmed.
I like Gallman a little bit, but not in this format. I think maybe we take the
tight end now?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Unless you want to take a quarterback.
I'm okay with – let's go Mo Alley Cox. Let's take
All
him
right.
so that
Fine.
we got him. So we're locked in to our 3 tight ends. And then if we want to go quarterback with our last pick, we go quarterback. If we don't, if we think that there's a running back there or a receiver that's never going to do anything for us, but there's a quarterback that could get, even if they only get 1 or 2 weeks for us, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So we're on 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 7 receivers for 14, 3 tight ends for 17. That's it. Slim is slim.
Slim is slim, man.
I like that Nico Collins idea a little bit, but I have him in a bunch of leagues, not a bunch, a few leagues already. And I just wonder if Houston will be competent enough to score even when they're losing.
No, I don't think they will. But I think, and I haven't even. This would have been my first Nico Collins share. Like I've just been kind of. It's kind of one of those, whatever flavor of the week where I've been kind of hearing some stuff on him, and I heard a nice piece. I forget who it was talking about him. Okay, well maybe I'll make him my last round pick for the next week or so. So Tyrod Taylor is nothing special anymore and whatever. So no, Nico's just a late round flyer that I just threw in the queue because I don't have any shares yet.
I wish I had a Rams helmet down here in my basement to grab. You know what? Let me try the next best thing. Hey, I think I have time, right? I'm not running to the bathroom or anything. I just want to give me
right.
20 seconds here.
20 seconds.
I'll pick our second favorite team. Hang on.
There we go. Oh boy, I'm excited. Oh man. But yeah, no, it's been good for us so far. Cole Kmet, don't love Cole Kmet. Mike and I were talking in the chat, but we got Fields, so we were kind of all in on that situation. We're kind of all in. So I'm okay with Kmet with this build. We're just crossing our fingers, really, Tyler Higbee's, who we're actually kind of all in on, because if he doesn't do well, we are in trouble at tight end. But I think we'll be okay there. Mike's coming with it with a helmet or a T-shirt or who knows what he's got going on right now. Oh, baby, our second favorite team. Lock that in. Speaking of Cole Kmet, look at that. Is it signed? Who signed that?
Richard Dent.
I thought you were going to say Cole Kmet. That'd have been great.
I have all the first 30 Super Bowl MVP helmets signed.
Really?
Yeah, this is all minis. Like, this could not fit on my head.
Yeah, that's right. Wow.
So, Super Bowl 20, Richard Dent. That's
The
our
old-
second favorite team, the Bears.
The old Dick Dent signature. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Let's go. Let's go, Bears.
Okay.
Play the song. Play the Chicago Bears theme song for us.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
It's like Fight On Chicago Bears or Go You Chicago Bears or Yay Chicago Bears. It's one of those.
I thought it was Da Bears. I thought that's what it was.
That is not the official theme song. So we have one pick left. This has been really fun.
One pick. Yeah. Break down this draft for him, Mike.
Well, I'm happy with it, but I have a theory that everybody is always happy with their draft because it's very hard to have a draft where you're not happy. Like, it's a bunch of players that you can see doing well, and it's just tough. I did an article for WGR550.com last year. Like, all right, let me sit down. I think it was for Scott Fishbowl. Let me sit down and actually intentionally try to blow this. And how do you do that? You draft a quarterback early. You draft a handcuff, you draft defense early or whatever. Like, you just try to make mistakes, but they're still within the confines of what you see people do in these drafts. And then it was over, this mythical draft, and I liked it. It's very hard to end up negative, I think. Maybe, this is something we could talk about on one of these shows. Maybe on this level where you have people spending a lot of money and drafting very seriously against good competition, that changes. Maybe then you have people who just I blew it. We had one draft in the Football Guys Championship where one player who's pretty prominent at the end of it was nothing went my way. I feel like maybe I'm naive in this way, Adam, but that I never have that feeling. I never feel like I blew it or whatever. I always have a list of players that I could see doing really well, so I'm always happy.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic to have that. I think with me, I've got a handful of guys that I like in each kind of area of the draft, and this is kind of making me think about our bare knuckle challenge that's coming up in Vegas. Oh, baby, this is actually going to be helpful, for us. But yeah, it's I've got guys I like in certain pockets, and when I get sniped, then you got 60 seconds to make a pick. And sometimes, do you reach on a guy? Do you take a guy you don't like as much just because they're in the ADP? But yeah, generally for the most part, if you come in prepared, you're going to leave with a team that you like. Maybe you don't love it. Maybe, you could have seen like we did with the quarterbacks, like, should we have taken Stafford and Hurts? And, but I think we're okay. We only have 5 running backs and 2 of them are starters and the other 2 are handcuffs, and if Jones or McCaffrey goes down, we're done. But I'm okay with that. It's a free league. It's first or nothing, and I'm totally okay with shooting for the moon here. And if Jones and McCaffrey stay healthy, I think our squad is going to be fine.
Adam, if you look through the board, everybody's got about 5. That team that started with 4 did not draft another one. They're done. So they drafted 4 in their first 4 picks, and then they're done. You see 5, 5, 5, 5. That's the number. So in a slim, I think you have to sort of brace yourself for, I don't know, some sort of outcomes. It's going to be a little bit stressful, but I think it's okay. How about that team going 4 right up top, and then that's it for the night?
I like that they had a strategy. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they just took whoever fell, and then they decided, okay, I've got 4, hopefully, cross my fingers, workhorse running backs for my teams. Now I'm not going to take anymore. I respect that. Whether it's the right or the wrong strategy, at least they did what they believed in, right? They went 4 and then they went crazy on every other position. All right, we're on the clock here. What are we thinking?
I wanted Sammy Watkins, but he just went.
Yeah,
he just went at 3 picks ago. I wanted Sammy Watkins. I thought that was really good.
Do we want to get crazy and go Oh, did he get taken? Let me see. Oh, Taysom Hill. I was going to say Taysom Hill, but he went.
You could take Newton.
Could take Newton or Jameis Winston. I would prefer Winston.
That's what I meant. I was thinking about Newton all night, but it'd be Winston. We only have 30 seconds here. I'd rather take a receiver again. I think maybe Damian Brown.
Okay.
Works for me. Running back, I think I'm fine. Tight end, we're definitely fine. A really interesting name here quickly is Tyron Johnson of the Chargers. I think he's better than a lot of those guys. We have Mike Williams. I think Brown would be my pick.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with Brown just because he's already here in the queue. You can never have too many receivers. I'm fine with Damian Brown. 3, 6, 7, 8 receivers. I mean, we're gonna start 4 receivers every single week, and that's another part of the build, right? Like, we don't need 4 great running backs. We need 2 running backs every week because we've got 8 receivers, and we've got 5 really good ones, I think. So we're never gonna need. We just need McCaffrey to be McCaffrey, Aaron Jones to get us, RB2 numbers. And then let our receivers go absolutely crazy. The key to these things is killing the flex position, right? In the flex, we want to outscore everybody in their flex position. And I think with receivers where we got them, I think that's the absolute best way to do it. And I think we're going to smash our flex spots. And if Fields stays healthy and Stafford stay healthy, I think we're going to get, high end. QB1 numbers. I think we're going to be right there at the end of the year.
It's a bet on the Rams, this team.
Yep.
From Kupp to Higbee to Stafford and even to Van Jefferson. It's a bet on the Rams. And there are worse bets. I mean, they're a top 5 Super Bowl favorite, top 6. You have to love the coach, the marriage of the coach and the quarterback, the personnel. Like, there's a lot to like there.
Yeah.
So, here's to the Rams because that's going to determine our fate. You're right about McCaffrey. We might need Aaron Rodgers to walk in for Jones to work out, and I think he will. I mean, I think Rodgers is likely to play for the Packers, but we don't know yet, and that's unsettling. I think Rodgers and even Jones and Adams are not quite bargains, but, there's a little bit of sneaky value in there because people are afraid that he won't play. And if he doesn't, that's a problem. But I like taking those kind of risks.
Yeah, and listen, if Rodgers were going to retire, he would have retired already. He's only got a couple of years left, and I think he realizes that. I don't want to obviously speak for him, but I just think he's going to put on this charade, and then training camp's going to come, and he's going to show up begrudgingly and just do what he always does. And we won't know till camp starts, obviously. And if he leaves and goes to the Broncos, well, hell, Jerry Jeudy's a 4th-round pick. So I
love that. I love that we got him.
Yeah, me too.
I love that we got Jeudy. I love that we got Ridley. I was thinking maybe Metcalf would be our player, but Ridley instead that's at least an even trade for me.
Yeah.
Julio Jones will be interesting here. Like, hopefully he can stay on the field.
Yeah, if he stays on the field, he's a monster. I think he's going to be. Listen, every time you get these veteran players that are still. I mean, all the analytics pointed to him being still really, really good last year. He's going to be rejuvenated. He's on a team that really wanted him. He's got AJ Brown, who thinks looks up to him. Was begging him to come there, trying to give him his number. I think he's going to be rejuvenated. Obviously, injuries. As long as he stays healthy, I think he's going to be awesome. What's interesting to me is it's amazing how the 2nd, 3rd pick can turn the entire draft to a different strategy, right? Like if we would have gone running back, if we would have gone Deandre Swift at the 3 spot, our roster looks completely different, right? So, we go 3 running backs, and then maybe we do what Team 8 did. Jay and Scott, love those guys, right? So maybe we go receiver, and maybe we don't take another running back till the 16th, or maybe not at all. So it's interesting how our draft.
It was Jay and Scott that started 4 running backs?
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So
are they upset that we didn't draft any Bills?
Listen, in the defense, I wouldn't have been opposed to a couple of late Bills, but I know you.
Who were they?
Completely. Well, okay. How many touchdowns is Josh Allen going to throw for? Just
34.
give me a number. How many?
34.
34. How many is Diggs going to get? 8? That's 20 something. I can't do the math right now. 26 touchdowns that are going to go to the rest of the team. Knox is going to drop 8 of them. The running backs don't catch any of them. So, I mean, somebody, every week you're going to, Sanders is going to hit one. Then Beasley's going to hit one. And then, who am I forgetting? Gabe Davis. Every week, one of those guys is going to hit one and start for you. Now, I prefer it in best ball much more, but, I just think that is a strategy. We didn't have to do it, obviously, but I think that's not a horrible strategy. I don't want all 3 of them, but give me 2 of them, and every week one of them will start for me.
Well, those guys drafted Allen. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to meet up with them again.
Yes, for sure. They'll be in Vegas with us. They'll be in Kentucky with me. So it'll be a great time to.
When is that again?
That's 2 weekends before Vegas. So if you're still interested, it's the 20. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. See if you can.
You fly to Cincinnati, probably. That's in Kentucky. The airport.
I fly into Louisville, I think.
Oh wow! Look at you.
That's flying right into Louisville, baby.
Can't you fly right into the draft room at that rate?
That's right. Fly right into the draft room. So that is the 27th through the 30th of August. So
okay.
And then obviously Vegas for me is the 8th through the 11th. So if you can sneak out, let me know. I got a hotel room with your name on it.
Maybe. Well, this was really fun, everybody. Thanks for watching and following along. I don't know. We have to get to the Draft Sharks website and rate our team or what have you and see how we did. I mean, I don't know if this is like the best looking team on paper. I'll spend some time tomorrow looking at the rest of this. Adam and I are going to see the Red Sox and the Blue Jays tomorrow. In addition to, I don't know what else. Like, I'm going to have to sleep at some point, but you're coming up like early in the day maybe, right?
Yeah. We'll get into some trouble tomorrow for sure.
If you bet some football futures at the casino, maybe.
I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah. We'll send some art to our deep end followers.
Yes, deep end followers. Also, check out. We'll be talking about this draft. I'm sure we're going to post to the new free Draft Sharks Discord at draftsharks.com, our sponsor. So if you head over to at Draft Sharks on Twitter, you will find the link to the Draft Sharks Discord. Lots of high stakes guys in there. Great place to learn. Just even if you don't want to talk, just watch and listen to all the kind of the high stakes or even your best ball guys in there. They're super, super smart.
Great night. Thanks, everybody. I'm excited about this league. Thanks to FFPC for having us in. And we will see you again probably next Monday on the Deep End Fantasy Football Podcast. Mike Shope, Adam Krautwurst. Have a great rest of your evening.